Okay, hi, welcome to Act Bold. My name is Ann Alexander Cedar, and today I wanted to jump in because of the WGA strike. And I've had a lot of questions from myself and from some of my friends and colleagues wondering how this is going to affect those of us who are living and working in Europe. And it's a very interesting question, actually. Obviously, the strike prohibits anybody who is part of the WGA union to do any kind of writing. And writing isn't finished when the script is finished. Writers go on set and are constantly making updates to scripts and to series, to films, to all of it. So, and unions are super, super important. I mean, in this day and age, I just heard yesterday, which blew my mind, that Sharon Stone did not make enough money in 2019 to cover her health insurance. That means that we are in a state of crisis. I'm very fortunate. I live in Germany. Germany does take good care of its artists. I have good health care. I have a good pension plan. But man, I feel for my colleagues in America. I think America has got to get it together. Artists are so important. Writers, actors, directors, musicians, dancers, people who tell a story, people who show and connect via emotions. We need this to keep our very humanity. That is what humanity is. It's this connection through emotions, through shared living experiences, through universal feelings. And it's so, so, so important to have them. But I digress. I did want to talk about how the WGA strike might be affecting us here in Europe. And I think that there are a couple of things that could happen. This is naturally speculation on my part. I am not the owner of a crystal ball. I sometimes wish I was, but I am not. Anyway, what could happen is other English-speaking countries could sweep in and fill the void that the US market was filling. That means the UK, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, those countries could potentially be either putting their stuff out, or their stuff may become more in demand that they already have on a worldwide market. And or there could be more co-productions, which would be amazing for the English speakers, the native English speakers living in Europe. And there are lots of us who are working as actors, directors, screenwriters, and all of that. And the other thing that could happen is that, countries like Germany, Spain, Portugal, Italy, Turkey, etc., 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 who are already putting out really quality shows, series, and movies, they could move in to fill the void. I mean, a lot of these shows have already jumped over from being their country specific, their region specific, to become worldwide sensations. Shows like Deutschland, Germany 83, I think it's what it called in English, or Dark. Gosh, I can't think of anything else right now, and I don't have any notes in front of me. I'm just winging this, but there are lots of shows that have already, even before the WGA strike, become extremely popular with worldwide markets. So that's another thing that could happen. So what can we do about it, right? That's the main thing. It's like, okay, this is happening as of yesterday. It's official. WGA is striking. There's going to be a lot of solidarity strikes. Actors are going to probably follow suit because, as I mentioned earlier, people who have had as storied careers as Sharon Stone are not making enough money based on residuals, which is crazy. They put a cap on residuals, SAG does. Another story, whatever. But that's crazy that someone as big as Sharon Stone can't make her health insurance. So we are coming to a day of reckoning, all of us who use the American market as part of their work, which I do as well. I work back and forth between mostly Germany and the US. Coming to a day of reckoning, and it's about time. So what can we do about this? Well, if there's a downtime, there's going to be a downtime for everyone. So this is good news. People will have more time on their hands. This means that maybe someone who you wanted to get in to see before, a casting director, producer, showrunner, etc., they might be sitting around twiddling their thumbs or looking for things to do to fill the void. It also means that you need to get all of your marketing materials, your branding materials, all of that into shape so that you can begin your plan of attack as far as networking goes. Because now is the time to start reaching out to people and saying, hey, can I buy you a coffee? Or can we meet for a virtual glass of wine or a real glass of wine, depending on, what city they're in and what city you're in. So don't feel helpless. Don't feel hopeless. This is not a time for that. This is, every forest, every once in a while will just have a forest fire and burn to the ground. And yes, it's a horrible thing in the moment, but it's also after the forest starts to regenerate and grow again. It's this huge time of rebirth and regrowth and regeneration. And that's what's going to happen here as well. It happened back in 2008 when the writer's strike happened the last time. It was a moment of panic and a moment of taking a big long, put your feet up on the desk and throw your hands up behind your head and, just take a little break here. But it was also a time where a lot of people made good use of it. Corona was another one. The pandemic was another one, right? It was like an enforced, everybody, regroup. Let's figure this thing out. And yeah, it sucked. There were a lot of things about it that weren't great, but there were a lot of things that came out of it that were great. One of them being self-tapes. So, which has made it easier for actors like myself and you, if you are also an expat actor. But it doesn't really matter if you're an expat actor or not. No matter where in the world you are, so many people have moved away from LA. They're living in Texas, in Boston, in Connecticut, in Detroit, all these other places, because it's no longer 100% necessary to be 100% in Los Angeles when you only work there maybe 2 weeks out of the year or 10 weeks out of the year. Doesn't make sense. So I get that. Anyway, don't feel helpless. Don't feel hopeless. There are things you can do. So go out there and do them. You stay your bold and beautiful self. It's yourself. Myself, yourself. Okay. Yeah. Unedited. See you next time.